If you've been looking into IUL policies, you might be thinking, I wonder if I'm a good candidate. Well, in this video, I'm going to teach you how to ensure that you do, in fact, get approved for your IUL policy by walking you through the top 10 reasons why most people don't get approved for IULs and how to fix it to ensure that you get the absolute best rating possible when you submit your application. My name is Amanda Ryba. I have been designing IUL policies for clients for just about a decade. I've helped over 800 clients. I've been producing content here on social media for the past 4 years, teaching everyone else how to do it too. I've seen just about everything when it comes to clients trying to get approved for these policies, why they do and why they don't get approved. And I will tell you, there are simple things that you as the potential client can do to ensure that you do get approved for this policy at the absolute best possible rating. And I'm going to give you all my best tips and tricks right now. Let's dive in. Let's dive into the top 10 reasons why people do not get approved for IUL policies, and I'll give you a few strategies on how to overcome most of them. But the first and the most common is simply height and weight. Every life insurance company has what's called a build chart, a height and weight chart, telling them based on your height and your weight, where you fall on this chart will determine what health rating you can get approved for your IUL. Now, if you're rated too high or rated too low, that alone could disqualify you from being able to get approved. And you might be thinking, well, simple. I'll just crash diet and lose some weight real quick. Well, hold up there, Sparky. It's not that simple. There is a question on every life insurance application that asks, have you gained or lost more than 10 to 15 pounds, depending on the carrier, in the last 12 months? If you say yes to this, the insurance company will add back on 50% of the weight that you lost to your current standing weight. Now, you might be thinking, well, I can get around that by just fibbing on my current standing weight. You do know that they can double check anything by going into your medical records with your HIPAA consent. So unfortunately, there's not really any way around this. You can't really fib your way out of it. What I would recommend is just make sure you're at the height and weight that you ideally want to be at when you submit the application so that this is not a concern. Number 2 is pre-existing medical conditions. If you suffer from heart attack, stroke, cancer, severe diabetes with high A1C levels, or severe anxiety or depression or anything similar, these are just examples. These are all reasons why you might not be able to get approved for your IUL policy. Now, it's based on the severity of the condition, but let's say that you had this condition at one point and you don't suffer from it anymore. I want to highly encourage you to reach out to your doctor and let them know that you no longer suffer from this condition and you need it removed from your medical records as a current condition that you're being actively treated for or that you actually currently suffer from. This ensures that if medical records are needed when you submit for your IUL application, that the records match the application. You don't want there to be any discrepancies between them. So I recommend after you speak to your doctor's office, ask for a copy of your medical records to ensure that they actually remove that condition, and then you can submit for your IUL. Number 3 is prescription history. Yes, you can actually not get approved for an IUL just simply because of the prescriptions in your medical history. And let's say you were prescribed a medication and you filled it, but you're not taking it because you don't feel like you need it. The underwriter is going to ask why and what you're doing instead. And if you are prescribed medications, most underwriters want to see you on that medication for at least 3 months or longer to show stability to ensure that nothing needs to be tweaked or changed. Keep in mind, most prescriptions can be used to treat one or more medical conditions, so we want to make sure that it's very clear in your medical records why you're taking each prescription. And if there's a prescription that you have been described in the past that you are no longer taking or you no longer need, again, please reach out to your doctor, have them update your medical records, and put this in the notes so that way if medical records are requested, they match the actual application. Number 4 is pending medical tests or procedures. Typically, most insurance companies will not offer coverage if you have a pending test or medical procedure to complete. They typically make you wait an average of roughly 3 months after the test or procedure, assuming that all results are normal before they will even consider coverage. So let's just say, for example, your doctor recommended you do some kind of a test and you didn't do it for one reason or another, but you now want to get an IUL policy. I would recommend reach out to that doctor, see if that test or procedure is still needed to put a resolution to whatever it was in your medical records. And if so, have them schedule it so you can get in and complete it. If not, have them put a note in as to why it's no longer needed so that your records are updated. Then you can submit for your IUL. Number 5 is drug or alcohol abuse. If there is any inclination in your medical records that there has been any drug or alcohol abuse, this could potentially be a disqualifier. And if you are receiving counseling or treatment for any condition where you have said that you use drugs or alcohol as a coping mechanism, this could be a problem. I want to recommend that you reach out to that doctor. Again, find out what they wrote about you in your medical records by simply requesting a copy of them. And if you're no longer using drugs or alcohol as a coping mechanism, let them know that. And to update that with more accurate information, such as now I use meditation, or I walk, or I exercise, so that they know that you have found a better way to cope with these issues. Because this could be a disqualifier, and unfortunately, there's only so much you can do to avoid it. And usually there is a waiting period after you get the drugs or alcohol removed from the records for an actual application to be able to get approved. Number 6 is dangerous hobbies, such as skydiving, scuba diving, rock climbing, flying recreational airplanes, or racing motorcycles or cars. They're all dangerous hobbies and could be reasons why you don't get approved at the best rating possible for your IUL. Now, when you submit the application, they're going to ask you if you engage in these activities, and if you choose not to admit to them, I would recommend maybe going through and selecting that all your social media profiles are private while you're going through the underwriting process. Do the underwriters go to this extent to find out if you do or do not engage in these activities? Honestly, I can't say for sure, but I wouldn't give them any reason to prove that you are lying. Obviously, we always recommend to be truthful in your application, but it's up to you how much you do choose or choose not to disclose. Number 7 is high-risk occupations, such as being a private pilot, commercial fishing, offshore drilling, coal mining, being in the military with active orders to deploy to certain high-risk countries, or even working in the marijuana industry as a whole could all potentially be either disqualifiers or reasons why you get heavily rated on your IUL policy. Now, unfortunately, there's not really much you can do about what you do for a career. We always recommend being truthful and honest again on your application, but there are ways that you can word your job title where it doesn't appear to be as severe as it might be to others, just with simple choice in vocabulary. Number 8 is driving history. Too many moving violations in too short amount of time are going to make you look extremely risky to the insurance company. That could be as simple as speeding tickets, car accidents, and yes, even DUIs are going to make you look extremely risky to the insurance company to take on. Not really anything you could do to fix this other than avoid submitting for an IUL policy the year that you get a DUI, because with most insurance companies that is an automatic disqualifier, or if you've had too many moving violations in too short amount of time, 2 years or less. I would avoid submitting for your IUL until you have passed the 2-year point, and some of those points start to fall off on your license. Number 9 is criminal history. If you have anything in your background, any misdemeanors, felonies, time on parole, or in prison, these are all going to make you look extremely risky to the insurance company. Now, again, there's not really anything you can do to avoid it. You can go back and try to clean up your actual background by getting things expunged or removed, but honestly, they're probably still going to see it anyways. So most insurance companies need to wait for anywhere from 5 to 10 years from the date of a severe incident like a felony to get you approved. So I would just recommend that you're waiting that amount of time before you actually go submitting for an IUL policy. And number 10 is poor financial health. The insurance companies will look to see if you have a stable career and if you have stable income, because they need to see if you can actually afford to keep an IUL. And if you don't, they might not approve you. And to be honest, you probably shouldn't own one if you don't have a stable source of income, because these are a product that you should own throughout the course of your entire life. And if you're not in a financial position to own it today, well, why don't you just pause and wait and open one up later on down the road when you actually are. There you have it. Here again are the top 10 reasons why people most commonly do not get approved for IULs. And I gave you as many tips as I could possibly think of today from my 10-year career on how to avoid these and get approved anyways at a decent health rating. Now, if you want to learn more about how IUL policies work, I've linked 2 videos here that will walk you through it. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss another video teaching you everything you need to know about how these accounts work. Share this video with anyone you know that is trying to get approved for one of these policies, and I will see you back here next week on YouTube.